We're really entering now the agentic era of AI. So every single tech that dealers are using are going to start having more AI embedded in it and AI agents embedded in that tech.
What is an AI agent?
Yeah, great question, and I think we're all trying to figure that out right now. But with generative AI, what basically happened, and we're all kind of like good examples of this. But ChatGPT came out, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, whatever you want to use, and we're now able to basically have these AI sidekicks that are helping us do our work, right? You can say to ChatGPT basically anything, and it's fast, it's easy, it's different than Google search, right? You can't say to Google search, you can ask it questions and it's going to give you different documentation, but it's not going to do something for you. So if you ask ChatGPT, hey, write me a press release on XYZ. Now, everyone knows how I write my press releases. Write me a press release, or upload, sometimes I'll upload like a document and I'll say, turn this into a spreadsheet with columns XYZ, and it's done in seconds. So the idea that this AI is working for you is really evolving into this idea of agentic AI, where you can then train the AI into your agent, right? So you could say, I have an Ilana bot in our Fullpath Gen AI system, where I've now uploaded a ton of my stuff, my LinkedIn posts, my dealer marketing articles, everything. It now has Ilana's tone and voice, and this is my agent for that. And I've basically trained it. Anytime I want to send it an outline, I could say, here's my outline, here's the tone of voice, Ilana's tone of voice, you know it already, produce something for me. So basically training these agents, creating the AI to become your agents, that's sort of agentic AI. And the way, just to understand it from a dealer's perspective or automotive tech perspective, I really believe that the way it's going to work is there's the regular automotive tech that we have today, CRM, DMS, website, whatever. And there's just going to be AI agents sort of that live on top of it that will help us use the technology better. So CRMs are going to go to agentic CRMs. You're going to have task managers, right? So you're going to have task builders within your CRM that are going to do things for you. They're going to create tasks automatically based on leads that are coming in, based on leads that have gone stale. That's going to be your task builder agent, and you can kind of train it however you want. You're going to have a ChatGPT agent, sort of someone that you can ask anything, your AI assistant. You're going to have like a call agent, like a voice AI, which is very, very big right now in automotive. That's also sort of an agent. So understanding that generative AI is kind of like evolving into this agentic AI era, and then figuring out, okay, where are these agents even getting the information from? MCPs. So these servers are what's going to fuel basically the agents that are laying on top of the technology for automotive.
You frame MCP servers as the new API on the block. For dealership leaders who've been burned by expensive, fragile integrations in the past, what is the real mindset shift that they need to make to understand why MCP is fundamentally different and not just another tech buzzword?
Good question, especially for dealerships who are dealing with another acronym and another tech buzzword. We're really entering now the agentic era of AI. So every single tech that dealers are using are going to start having more AI embedded in it and AI agents embedded in that tech. So I think once that revolution kind of takes off, and we're in the middle of it, but we're kind of in the beginning. Once it really takes off, MCPs are going to be critical for the tech to basically operate and work within the dealership's systems. So similar to APIs in the sense that when dealers were first trying to connect their data and their DMS and their CRM, and we're talking 5-6 years ago when they were really trying to connect all of their data, APIs were really important in transferring that information. Now that there's this agentic era that we're entering and tech has sort of evolved into the AI agent era, MCPs are what's going to connect the AI agents and what's going to really connect the data to the AI agents. So when we think about MCPs, it's basically the API for the AI agents. What I mean by that is it's model context protocol. It's basically creating the infrastructure for these AI agents within technology to operate, because it's taking the data the MCPs are basically taking all the data, putting it in, and telling the AI agent, hey, this data is from this source, this is what it means, this is how you use it. Hey, this data is from this source, this is what it means, this is how you use it. So when I said MCPs are the new APIs in the block, what I meant was this is the next era of technology in terms of connecting data and connecting apps and connecting systems for new tech to work.
In your article, you also describe APIs as saying, here's some data, good luck, while MCP servers say, here's the data, here's the context, and here's what to do next. Can you give a concrete dealership example where that difference materially changes the outcomes?
Think about ChatGPT. Think about when you ask ChatGPT a question. ChatGPT doesn't answer you in code. ChatGPT answers you like, not just in code, it also sometimes compliments you. Oh, that's a great question. Here are the answers. Here's what you need to know. So that's how MCPs are going to work. If you have like a secure ChatGPT environment as an AI agent, for example, in your dealership, and you're asking it, hey, who converted on my site yesterday? You're not going to get a bunch of ADFs. You're going to get names, what they converted on, what vehicle they're interested in, whatever. It depends on how you kind of train that bot. But the idea is you're just going to get plain English, and you're going to get the context, and you're going to get it in a really simple way. And that's because your MCP has your shopper data, right? The same way that an API can have your CRM shopper data, but again, it's going to be gibberish until it's custom coded. So that's sort of the difference in understanding how it works. It's the same concept, again, in the sense that you're connecting two systems, but one is just so much more advanced and so much more usable.
I love that we're having conversations about technology connecting systems, because there's so many conversations being had, especially in our industry, about how systems don't speak to each other. So for me, this sounds really interesting. It's another layer of technology, which I know sometimes has people a little bit hesitant, but when you talk about what this technology is actually doing, it's breaking down the silos, which I know you've written articles about before.
Yes.
So I feel like this even comes full circle just in terms of the language. And then, of course, the argument that AI should enhance productivity in human beings and not replace them, sort of a philosophical approach to how integrating technology in 2025, 2026 should actually benefit the organization, and whether that is to replace areas of the business that don't need to be manual, don't need people to do things, but also just to populate your computer screen with the information you need right now in the language that you can understand.
Automotive is so right for this, because when you think about the systems automotive works in inventory, incentives, things are changing constantly every single day. Of course, retail outside of automotive has a similar sort of like day-to-day. But in automotive, because you have OEM incentives and dealer incentives and regional incentives, and inventory is moving so quickly, and you need to make sure that everything's updated constantly. This MCP sort of protocol framework helps dealers, in real time, as they get used to using this more like agentic technology, helps them really understand what's going on in their dealership in real time, and then give customers a better experience. And automotive is so customer centric. So having the right technology that helps people in the dealership actually, with their in-store workflows, actually be able to use these products so that they could be sitting in front of someone and have the most up-to-date information for that person, will really help the customer experience. And it's something that's really put a very, very significant emphasis on. So I think that, but I also think dealerships have never really had the technology that, enterprise and SMBs have with Salesforce and HubSpot and Klaviyo and all these fancy technologies outside of automotive, because of all the bureaucracies and red tape and manufacturer, kind of limitations that are in automotive. It's really hard to work to take like a Salesforce and bring it into automotive. So having this system now, and having the automotive technology sort of embed and evolve with AI agents, and have the proper MCP framework for us to all work together, dealers will now be able to compete at the highest level. Giving them this technology means that they can now actually use technology that big giants outside of automotive are using. So dealers can really have access to the technology that they deserve to keep their businesses, and I think also enjoy the technology.